Morning everybody, and welcome to Sunday Q&A, which hopefully this Sunday we're going to get off in one hit, which is dead handy because I was waiting for over 2 hours Thursday to get my load off. I had a booking time, I got there early, I took a chance, it didn't happen, which gave me plenty of time to record a pile of videos which I've been meaning to do for you guys for a little while, and I'll stick them up over the next couple of weeks because no one wants too much of me. Right, just clean me bins. So, what we got this week? Well, just as a little opener, domain name guy says, I must have mentioned in last week's video, back in the day when I had money, you don't look like that, you're down to your last fiver. LOL. I keep meaning, I don't mean to be flash, lads, I never did. The reason I kind of shoot these videos here is because I was always hoping one day that somebody might, some movie producer might watch and go, we need your house for the next Cameron Diaz, Jude Law holiday film. Here's a pile of money, go on holiday. Never happened. The story of the house, I've been here for 18 years. I will do one. I'm overdue a video on it, but it's getting around to shooting it. I will do one. I'll explain the whole thing. Like I say, I'm not trying to be flash. It's my home. I love it. So I spent the first 3 weeks with vertigo. Steve Campbell. He says converting a Luton into a curtain sider. He said you need £25 for a drill, £40 for an electric saw, and £40 for decent tarpaulin. Hang it on with nails and cable ties. Job done. Yeah. Till you drive down the road and the box goes like that. I don't know if that's going to cut it, mate. It would cut it. Whether it would sort of stand up, I don't know. But nice idea. Wouldn't try it myself. So this week's video was short versus long versus multi-drop. Domain name guy again says, he says, don't do multi-drop unless you can do more than 100 drops, because you walk into the depot, say, where are the parcels, and you'll be shown a mountain of parcels, which will put most drivers off. But if you can do, if you can do it, 100 plus drops in multiple routes. I hate multi-drops. When I talk about multi-drop, a multi-drop in my mind in the Sprinter was no more than 10, 12 drops. It was fridges. All to showrooms. Okay, some of them might, if it was like 8 drops, some of them might be distance apart. If it was 12 drops, you might be lucky you get the odd one that was around the corner. But I have done the Argos and I have done the Parcel Force. It was Parcel or something, or Parcel Line or something like that. I hate them. I really do. It's just spending all day trying to find the address. What do you mean? Well, where's the number? Oh, it's over there. Oh, I can't park. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. I know. I feel for those that do, and there's going to be a few coming up in fairness. Leanne says, the long and the short of it, he says, I hate multi-drops. Me too, mate. Nice coat. Didn't know using the MOD. LOL. When I worked on the market, we used to get this deal once a year, and I got about 2,000 second-hand coats. It had to be binned to the best one I ever had, which was a Burberry Brit, which I put on eBay, and I think it sold for about 350 quid. I also got myself quite a few nice coats. I've got enough coats to last me a lifetime. I don't wear them. I spend my life, well, I've got that one, and that one's my winter coat, and I've got a super duper North Face in there. Lovely puffy thing. Never wear it. Don't use them. And I've got lots of posh ones as well, which hang up in the wardrobe. And I spend my life like this. Mario, this is very useful advice. I myself are working from Amazon and a self-employed courier driver. There are lots of multi-drops to be done, 130 to 150 a day. I also know they're doing a sneaky one now. That what they're doing is they're classing it as one drop, but they're putting, it's the same location, but there's 5, like a block of flats, one drop. There might be 5 flats doing a drop. That's not one drop, that's 5. That's cheating. 150 every day, and I ask myself, am I going to survive the day? Working 5 days a week, I earn approximately £1,000 before that. So that's a fair whack. You've got to say that's all right. And I go for a tank of fuel because there's more walking than driving. So I know you guys are all doing it, and hats off to you, and you deliver to me, and it's fantastic. But from a personal choice, I wouldn't do it. I think you can make as much money on the exchange doing 3 drops as you can do on Amazon doing 150. Why do it yourself? Steve at SDC Services. I'm too old for multi-drop, he says. You don't look it, mate. I try to stick to the triangle of work. Liverpool to Hull, Hull to Luton, Luton to Liverpool. The triangle. Anything out is dead miles. I like this. This has fired up an idea for a video which is coming soon to the Pete's YouTube channel. The triangle and other ways to work. So thanks very much for the inspiration, mate. I've done your little video. Cheers. Ian Merrick. It's Ian with 2 eyes, Merrick. Long distance is my preferred because at short jobs you're too exposed to waiting time. This is case in point. He said this morning a major distribution centre being directed by the gatehouse to reception. You want building 2, West 1, mate. So then what's the first sign I see? Blue zone, bays, 105 to 147. What? Hang on, what's this over there? No, oh, the road goes around the back. Oh, look, there are bays around the back. Oh, it says West. It's W start. Yeah, it's in 35 minutes trying to find it. And that is the problem. If you're doing a lot of short jobs, if you're lucky, straight in, straight out. But you can spend a lot of time trying to work out where you're picking up and where you're going to, and that really cuts into the time of your day. And in this job, time is money. It really is. That clock is ticking for you. That's why I get out as early as I can. I stay out as long as I can, and I do as much as I can in that time. And when you can't find something, you think, here we go. Gets frustrating. Chris C. He says, I like my distance job. Less time loading and unloading, yeah, same thing, and looking for jobs. But sometimes on a Friday, I prefer short jobs, so I'm not stuck far from home because it's a Friday night. Yeah, I'm the same. I was dead lucky. I knocked myself out on Thursday. I literally stopped about a quarter of an hour away from my 15 hours and half an hour away from my drive time in a lay-by. I managed to grab myself a Kentucky, which was average. And just put the bed down. And then the next day I got, where was I? Peterborough to Lincoln. You never get anything out of Lincoln. And then almost instantly, Lincoln to Rugby. Oh, what a dream. I've got problems with my starter motor. It's making funny noise. I don't know if it's starter motor or the ring gear. It's going when you try and start it. So that's being done today. But I managed to get that done, get back, get a starter motor, and I'm still home by 3:30. And I hit my target for the day. It was a dream. And after the day I had before, I needed it. I was grateful. Right, carrying on. We did one recently on tramping. Domain name guy says, most motorway services have showers. I think they do. Sometimes they look like toilet doors, and normally you can get the key from the reception bit where you pay for your truck parking, I think. You usually get 2 hours free parking. They have to give you 2 hours free by law. So all service stations will give you 2 hours free. After that, they'll charge you through the nose, but you're going to have 2 hours free. And you can usually get fast food and coffee, free shower, that kind of thing. As for the cooking, because I started saying about cooking, I thought, maybe, give that a bash, He said Trucker Dringy and Fastest Fox are 2 U-trim truckers that cook in the cab, etc. He also said driving isn't so much about the money, it's kind of a way of life, And it is, I had that moment. I was going to do a video about it, I thought that's a bit much. And I was driving over the hill, and it was green, and the window was open, and it was warm, and a good song come on the radio, and I thought, this is great. And then actually just a very sad John Luke Picard and went engaged, and I don't know why I've done that. But, sometimes, it's just like, this is all right, this. Yeah, so we'll come back to that later, actually. About the countryside drive, ideal. You sit in a couple of truck, radio, arm out the window, etc. Chicken winging, they call it, I think. And, the truck's van, basically, I agree with you. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Leanne, he said, someone once said, this is it. Someone once said, if you love your job, you'll never have to do a day's work in your life. I think that was John Lennon. I'm not sure. I was going to Google it, but I'm too lazy. I don't love my job, but I like my job. And when I was a market trader, I liked my job. And I consider myself incredibly lucky to have a job that I like. I think very few people get a job that they love. And I think even if you think it was a job that you love, like film star or, rock star or something like that. I don't even know they're all they're cut up to be. I think film stars, they say a lot of my job is basically hurry up and wait. And rock stars, I remember Billy Bragg saying, it's a lot of travelling, a lot of staying in hotels. And he said, they pay you for the travelling. You do the gig for free. That's the fun bit. The 1.5 hours at the end of the day is brilliant. The whole day, trains, buses, travel lodges, is painful. So, I'm lucky. I've got a job I like, so that's kind of cool. Matthew Smith, he says cab cooking is massive these days. You get a small square gas stove and a pan called a Ridge Monkey. It's a non-stick pan that folds in half, basically has its own lid, which means you can cook virtually anything nice and slowly, plus the lid avoids all the mess. As for cab cooking, look up Mark Dring. I think one of the other guys, domain name guy, mentioned him on YouTube. He cooks some awesome food in the cab. Also, plenty of Facebook groups. So you actually cook in the cab. not outside of the cab on the road. You're actually cooking the cab. I haven't looked at any of these yet. I must have a look. And Jeff Seymour says, with the tramping, he says, have a look at carp fishing gear. Now, I remember my mate Ken, who I spoke to recently, actually, he always said this. He said, get yourself a cart bed. Get yourself a fold-out cart bed, but get yourself the one with the 8 legs, not the 6 legs. It's more stable. And it clicks, and then you put a thing in. It's like a proper bed. You can build it in the back of your van. He said, everything you need. 4-season sleeping bag, so you're covered all year round. All your cooking stuff, definitely recommend the Ridge Monkey cooking pan again. He said, you can even get a toilet. Can be pricey, but buy decent stuff and it will last you for years. I have a toilet. It's called the Woods, and I use it in case of extreme emergencies. Normally, it's service stations and Tesco's, Aldi's, Sainsbury's, all that kind of mob. They're very nice people. Danny Richardson says you need to get yourself a small diesel heater, cheap to run. I've actually got a night heater in the truck. It doesn't seem to be working. It didn't seem to be working on Thursday, but I've just put that down to the fact that I've probably got the settings wrong and it wasn't that cold. I've also got 2 removal blankets, 2 coats. I should get myself a decent sleeping bag, but we're coming into summer now, and I kind of think, I don't know where I'm going to be. I'll think about it in October, like, see what I'm doing then, because I don't know where I'm going to be. Another thing about the cooking, the thing about my truck is to put the bed down. When you've finished the day, you just want to get ready to go. You know, so put the bed down, put the phone on the dashboard, watch Rick and Morty or whatever's on Netflix. But once you have to put the driver's seats down to put the bed down, and then it's kind of not convenient. If and when, maybe, I do jump into the 18-ton sleeper, then you can actually have the bed but still get in and out the truck. And then I have an idea that maybe if I've got to stay out, find yourself a nice spot. Maybe somewhere on the coast, maybe somewhere overlooking the sea. Then you can set your little pan up outside, set your little chair up outside, do a little bit of cooking, look at the sea. That doesn't sound bad, does it? That sounds like a holiday to me. But again, what comes in the future, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Ian McBride said, question, Pete. Not sure if I missed the video, but when someone starts their working week knowing they're tramping, would you have a plan ready? My question is more about security of vans, where you're able to park, because at some stage you're outside of the van. If you're in a travel lodge, if you have a curtain side the van, isn't it a gamble for the driver? The whole point of tramping is you haven't got a plan ready. It's that kind of have truck will travel. So you take one job, and then you can then get the next job from closer to you because you can go anywhere. But there are, things to watch out for. And we've done this in the past. If you're parking a truck up, try and park where other trucks park. Certain bits of security. The more you do it, the more you'll get to know where to park. Some truck parks have security. Some have the CCTV. Some of them, like some motorway service stations, apparently are renowned for getting hit. A lot of the time when you park at night time, you probably would have finished your 2 jobs anyway, so you shouldn't have anything on board. But if you've got something on board, it's a worry because you're not covered. You're only covered when you're in transit. But these are things you'll work out. But no, the whole point of tramping is you can't really do it with a plan. Unless, I know some like the 6-axle mob do. Because in the 6-axle, you really tend to be, right, you're going there, you're picking up this. They can plan weeks ahead of time. But for the likes of us, the likes of me and the exchange, no plan. A plan probably would be better. And then you might know where to stick it. That's only wrong. Right, we did one on longest distance jobs and all that kind of stuff. Longfinger, bless him, he's still out there doing the thing. Hello, mate. He says, I've got a job from Birmingham to Dundee, multi-drop, wait and return, 800 miles, leaving at 3 a.m. tonight. I hope it went well. I do, and I hope you got a few quid for it. You certainly deserve it. That's an absolute whopper, isn't it? Godzilla, longest job, he says, in time, I think I'm on it. Collect Friday between 2 and 4, fair enough. Drop on Sunday, 5 hours waiting. Then half the load's been refused and I'm to return what turned out to be a closed unit. Oh no, I'm dropping back tomorrow. This quick 41-mile job turned into 3 days. So yeah, from the point of view of actually time, yeah, that's quite a winner. So there we go. Right, we're on to miscellaneous now, I think. Right, this is ZLY 6230. That is the name of something in Star Wars. Hi, Pete. You probably know that 3.5-ton vans are going to be under working time restrictions, same as lorries. My question is, do I need to pay a driving agent manager who's looking after my tachograph, or can I do it on my own? I don't, mate. They're not at the moment. There's rumours being bandied about that vans are going to soon come under the lorry driving time, the work. I did one on driving hours, it's coming out soon, and the work time directive and all that. But then, would you retrofit the vans with a tacho, or would you have to keep a log? Is it only going to be for ones that are going abroad, or is it going to be for ones in the UK too? I don't know. All I say is watch this space, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But if you do need, you want what we call a transport manager. You can do the course yourself. It's very difficult and it's a 17% success rate. And what you have to learn is a folder that thick. But having said that, if you get it, then you can rent yourself out to other people as a transport manager and you can get decent money. So if I was you, mate, I think we'll worry about that when it happens. I'll be a big fan across that bridge when you come to it. I've done it on my life. Steve Campbell, he says, I've done a one-off run for one of my Facebook customers, Thornby, which is Teesside, to Inich, that's Aberdeen, AB, in an empty medium wheelbase transit to take a small vintage caravan up there. Didn't find a return job, so came back empty. Still made a profit on the way back. Backload would have been nice, but he charged him enough money for the way up there. You know, like we mentioned earlier on with SDC Services, the Triangle, another video is coming out on that one. Sort of the 5 different jobs. I've narrowed it down to 5 different jobs. I've even made names up for them, but I'm sure my names are rubbish and I'm sure you'll come up with better ones. And also, on the subject of the floating nightclub, the Tuxedo Princess was on the South Bank at the time. An old mate of mine was murdered there in 2002. You've had a life, haven't you, Steve? Bless him. He said the Tuxedo Princess is now closed. He said, I noticed there a couple of years back when I was working on ITV's Vera at the old oil depot, just a few yards up the river past the swing bridge. That is no longer there either. I seem to remember, I come back to this is floating nightclub up in Newcastle when I was a kid. And I think part of the reason why they had it was because it was on a ship. Therefore, you don't have to pay UK licensing laws. You can register the ship in sort of, I don't know, the Arab Emirates or Bahrain, or probably not the Arab Emirates, they don't drink. I don't know, Canada, anywhere you like, And then as a result of which, you're the Cayman Islands, and then it kind of gets around the duty on the booze. Maybe that was a way around it. But anyway, it obviously didn't work out because it's not there no more. Paul Cruz says, it was fun though, rotating dance. It was great. Paul Cruz says, on dealer boots, I did one on boots. Neptune dealer boots are the best boots I've had. £60 when I bought them 7 years ago. Still cost the same. Seems to be a British company. First 2 weeks they're like diving boots, don't bend. After that, very comfortable. Wear nearly every day. Don't look like I've had them on. I don't look like I have. I still love my pros, my Boondocks. They're ludicrously expensive. But there are certain things that are ludicrously expensive I don't mind spending the money on. I don't mind spending the money on the boots. I don't mind spending the money on the phones because I use them all day, every day. I resent spending money on things that I don't use very often. That's why I've only got a Mini. I think I bought it for like 2k about 3-4 years ago. It goes a mile up and down the road. Hopefully it will last me a lifetime. But what's the point of having a flash motor if it ain't going nowhere? Got to spend some money on a van, on a lorry soon. But we'll worry about that when we pass the test, if we pass the test. But yeah. Thanks for the tip. Lucas L. Quick question, Pete. He says, do you have your own CPC coordinators course or do you pay someone else to have O license? Thanks. You've asked me 2 different questions there, Lucas. The CPC is the training that you have to do to drive any vehicle over 3.5 tons. So all lorry drivers have to do it. And you have to do 5 modules in 5 years. You can do 1 a year or you can do all 5 at the end of the 5 years. You do it however you want. You need that to drive a truck. An O license is what you need to run a truck. So Al doesn't have CPC trainings, but he runs 2 trucks. He's kind of the coordinator for the lorry. Well, Jem is actually the coordinator for lorries. Al's new business. But yeah, there are videos if you go back on CPC training and O licenses. But CPC and O license are 2 different things. One, you need to drive it. One, you need so that you can pay other people to drive it. But you do need an O license to put a truck on the road. Steve Campbell, he says, the Renault Midlam is just a rebadged DAF LF. Maybe, I don't know. Superhero transport manager Daniel Garumba doesn't like the electrics in Renaults. He said every time he sees a truck broken down one side of the road, it's a Renault. Don't know if that's true. I'm happy with my DAF, although I have still got this starter motor problem to solve. I'll let you know how it goes. Godzilla's. He says, oh yeah, because I did one, I think it was Corrigan 77. He said, do you think that you have encouraged people to join the career exchange. And I say, I haven't encouraged anybody. I'm just talking about my life. But at the same time, I do think people have changed as a result, which I'm 100% certain that people have joined because they watched the videos. But at the end of the day, you do you. That's your call. God said this, the way I see it is this. He says, you have encouraged by not discouraging. I'm not saying this is a bad thing. He says, being the glass half full type of chap, you show the good stuff more than the bad. And there's a lot of bad out there. And most of the focus on the bad is forgetting that some people work in a factory somewhere, cold, doing afternoons, getting dirty to earn money, for those who don't care if they're dead or alive as long as the shift gets covered. Careers come and go. Some refuse to give up, some have to. It isn't for everyone. I never recommend it to anyone, but I don't knock those who do. Yeah, that's fair enough. What I tend to do, and I did do a video recently with my number on it and said you can ring them, and I will ask you about your situation, and I will tell you, and in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, you've got to bear in mind, guys, I've only been doing this 3 years. I really don't know what I'm doing. I was in at the deep end. I'm learning as I go. There are people out there that have got a much better idea than me, but I will give you my opinion on whether I think it's worth it or not, and it's an honest one. So, but at the end of the day, like I say, you do you. I just do the channel. I've done, there's 3 reasons why I do the channel. YouTube pay me money. I like the sound of my own voice, and I think it might go somewhere, and it helps people. That's it. Right. Oh yeah, Ian with 2 eyes. Merrick said. Now he put this in the notes, and I can't do a link, so because I can't do it via my thing. But if you go under one of the videos recently, there's a van calculator that calculates van depreciation. Models are listed within each manufacturer, so you can click on that. And you can see how much your van is depreciating and look that against others, and that might help you decide which van to buy. It's kind of not my department really, but there is a link underneath one of the recent videos. If that's for you, scroll down through the comments. You should be able to find it. Agnesia Kostolaska. He's not a fan of Hermes. Let's put it that way. Yeah, well, it's the multi-drop thing again, isn't it? Not a fan. Personally, not a fan. I've never had to do Hermes. I've never done Amazon. Like I say, I've done the Parcel Force thing and the Argos thing. And the Argos was fine. Argos was go to a couple of stores, come back. Do between 20 and 40 drops, depending on the distance in between. Come back, go to a store, go home. That's not painful. It's not as easy as what I'm doing at the moment. Go to one place, get forked on with 3 pallets, drive it up the road. Go to another place, get forked on with 2 pallets, drive it down the road, get it forked off, go home. That's much easier and for more money. But it's there. It is what it is. Gary McConaughey, he says, Pete, newbies should really be aware that the extra long wheelbase, such as Sprint, a 4.3 metre standard 3.5 tonne van, not the twin wheelers, will only carry a tonne max, as they are 2.5 tonne empty, fueled up. And something like a Renault Master long wheelbase will carry 1,300 kilos, but not so long, but it's only 3 pallets. He says, I see too many guys putting weight on Sprinters, and when I say that's too much, they tell me, no, mate, it's fine, it's a 3.5 tonne van. Yeah, try turn out a DVSA. Yeah, it's a 3.5 tonne van, doesn't mean it can carry 3.5 tonnes. It means it's 3.5 tonne loaded. The best way to work out what you can carry, buy your van, put all your kit on, fill it full of diesel, drive it to a weighbridge. And then take the weight that it says on the weighbridge off the laden weight of your van. If it's a 3.5 tonne van and it weighs on the weighbridge 2,800 kilos, you can carry 700 kilos. And it's not surprising if you've got a Luton with a tail and you've got kit on board and you might have a spare tyre or a couple of spare tyres and some spare AdBlue in the front if you need AdBlue for it, and a pallet truck that's a bit heavy, some straps, all this weighs up. And then you can look to yourself and you think, well, okay, what can I do to take some weight off this so I can carry a bit more legally? It's something but only you can do it. So, Raymond Eade says, Pete, I think you're good. Oh, I did one about getting, what if you have to take your rubbish away with you? Pete, I think you're good, but this video doesn't make sense money-wise. Do you know how much skips cost? In my mind, they're about $250 to $270 a skip. Yeah, you'd have to put it on the cost of the job. A better way, I find, if you've got to take the rubbish away with you, is to tuck it away to one side of the van, and then slowly but surely over the next job, you should come across someone who's got a skip on site, and you can go, mate, can I chuck this in your skip, please? And 9 times out of 10, they say, yeah. Sometimes I had one the other day, said it's metal. He said, we put wood in. I said, there was another skip. He said, is it wood? He said, no, we got sworn at for that one. I went, fair enough. No problem, I'll leave it on board. Next one I went to, can I chuck this in skip, please? Help yourself, mate. So it's fine. Tiffioso Cornwall says, have you ever had a tip from a customer? If so, how much? I think about 3 times. Ironically enough, not last Friday, but the Friday before, I had to deliver 2 pallets of, they were heavy. They were about a ton each, these pallets. And it was like garden slate or something like that. And when I got to the drop-off, it was a residential address. And I thought, oh, Christ. So we had to drag it on. You know, a ton pallet, even on the pallet truck, it's still hard to move. And my tail lift will do a ton, or it will certainly do a ton going down. Do a lot going down, going up maybe not so much. And it's terrifying because you go towards the tail lift and you think, please don't drop this, please don't drop it. I'm saying to the guy who's a big geezer, I say, mate, just put your hands out, steady this one, and if it starts to go, I'll pull the trigger, like, you know. But we got him off and he gave me a jacks, which was, you know, money's money. The best tip I think I ever had is once I had to drop some fridges off at one of my multi-drop in London, and the lady said, actually, these fridges are being installed around the corner right now. Is there any chance you could drive them around the corner? And I'm going, okay, but that means I'm going to finish later. And she said, I'll give you a drink out of it. I'm kind of, yeah, okay, no worries. It literally was around the corner. Probably took me an extra 15, 20 minutes to give me a score. I thought, not so bad. There we go. So yeah, I think about 2 or 3 times, but it's not. Ironically, when we used to be on the markets, we used to take in pallets. We'd always give a driver a tip, but probably because we didn't know any better, and a lot of the time they did have to sort of do a bit of work dragging it off of the tail lift because they were in 6 axles. After the time, I didn't even know the tail lift worked. So they're obviously used to being forked on and forked off. So maybe you give them a drink off them a cup of tea. You know, it's not such a bad thing. But me personally, about 3 times in 3 years. So I'll let you know if I ever get a big one. Echo Healthcare and Logistics says, hi guys, I'm looking for a little help. My courier side of the business is going pretty well and I'm looking to an employer driver. Please can anyone advise a daily rate or per hour rate? The van travels between Glasgow and London and I always get any casual drivers and overnight stay and breakfast. Don't know if going long distance expects a higher rate per hour or not. Any help would be appreciated. Sorry, this is not a question related to the video. That's fine. That's right. Any questions are welcome. You stick them in the comments. I'll put them out the forum. The guys out there who know better than me, the sagely wise ones, and we'll come to the answer. My answer, I think van drivers normally get around 80 quid a day. I personally would aim for a oneer. If you pay about £100 a day, I would think that would give you quite a reasonable amount of applicants, and hopefully you would get someone decent who's happy with the job and with the money. And it is like maybe a little bit extra to say, look, mate, I know you're going to be away from your family. Not everybody minds that. You know, particularly if it's going to be like, what, you know, one on, one off. So you've got to say London to Glasgow, stay overnight. Next day, Glasgow to London, go home. It's not too bad, you know. You might be away from home Tuesday night and Thursday night. That's not the end of the world, you know. But I welcome everybody out there who knows far better than me. Anyone, any shippers out there, anyone running a fleet out there, what they reckon is a fair rate for a van driver, and obviously one who's going to be going distance. So please, the wise ones, let me know, and I will pass that one on to Echo Healthcare next week. PO11 4RD85. Do you have your vans and trucks wheel align often? This is a fair point. Looking at starting a company with my brother, covering all sorts of heavy goods vehicle, trying to help save on tyres and fuel. I don't, because I'm lazy. And one of my tyres needs changing because it's wearing on the inside. It's getting low. You can run down to 1 millimetre on a truck tyre, but that's not wise, and it's getting near that. The problem I've always had with alignment and tracking, particularly in the van, is I'd go and I'd get the van tracked and I get it proper, all balanced up, and they can laser track it on the floor because they can't get it up on a ramp. And then I'd drive out, and 2 days later I'd have to go over a curb or something like that and then knock it out again. I'm thinking, what's the point? So, and tyres aren't that dear. Well, I know there's going to be a lot of people screaming at me right now going, are you wise? Are you mental? I think the truck tyre's about 150 quid. And since I've had that lorry, and it's running for nearly a year now, I've had to change 1 tyre. So, and I've got one coming up. So, but having said that, I think it's interesting. And if you do it, I'm more than happy to put out a link or something on the channel. So anyone who's out there is running fleets, I'll put you in contact with all of them. If I can help people, I've got you guys out there going, I could really use mobile tracking, and these guys going, I want to do mobile tracking, but I could really use some punters. If I can get the 2 of you together, brilliant. All power to you, just keep me informed, and I'll see what I can do. Caelan Warren, he says, as an owner driver posting a job on the CX, Would you need extra insurance? If the job goes wrong and the goods get damaged, would the customer claim on your goods in transit or the subcontracted driver? Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? Oh, I mean, you mean on yours as in mine, or the subcontracted driver? The short answer to this question, and again, I could be wrong. So once again, comments please. It's the subcontracted driver it's down to. And I know this because once in the 3,000 or so jobs that I've done now, one job went wrong and it was horrible. I had to put stuff on the night before, and it was Simon, and he's my favourite shipper. He said, Pete, do me a favour, I can't get this one off. And it was going to a military base. I had to get it on the night before. It turned out there was like an hour and a quarter's worth of handball putting it on, or no, it can't have been, I was in the van. It must have been like half an hour's worth of handball, 40 minutes. I thought, I ain't going to charge him because he's Simon. And then I drove around to a military base and it was windy and it was blowing a gale and I had to get on and then it had to go up 3 flights of stairs and I was on the back. And one of the pallets was like a standard, and then underneath the standard they'd put a euro. And I put it on the back of the tail lift and it went dump, and 2 boxes fell off. And I looked at the boxes and they looked all right. So I stacked them back up again. And then I got a phone call. And so I went, Pete, everything right with the job? Yeah, fine. So, no problems? No problems. Anything get damaged on the job? I went, I said, Simon, I didn't know. The boxes look fine. No. There were stalls inside, they've been damaged. And then I think the money it cost me for the stalls was probably slightly more money for the job, but they took the money off the Street Fighter job. And that's where that all came about. The best job, the best band paying job I ever had was a Street Fighter job. It was good fun as well, like, you know. But yeah, so the short answer is, when I did damage something, it was down to me. That's why we have goods in transit insurance. I mean, ours is up to 50k now, but then we were on trucks. And 10k is really a little bit Mickey Mouse. But the only problem is, once you go over 10k, they're more likely to try and find an excuse for why they don't have to pay it. But yeah, the short answer, as I understand it, is you pay the subcontracting driver. It's the driver's responsibility to make sure that the goods are secured properly in transit and delivered in good condition. And if they sling it in the back of the van, it turns up smashed, it's their fault and they're paying. Right, there you go. Mark Newman. Hi Pete, thanks for your efforts. Just signed up to the CX. I have a medium wheelbase. Do you use a dedicated sat nav? If so, which one? Love the Q&A. Thank you, my friend. I still use Waze, and I probably shouldn't because I'm in a 7.5 tonne, so I should probably have a dedicated sat nav. I did use Road Lords for a little while, but I didn't find it as good as Waze, and I was doing both of them. And Waze, 95 times out of 100, gets me exactly where I need to be without, oh Christ, there's a low bridge, oh Christ, there's a width restriction. And if there is, you just have to turn around and work your way around it. Like I say, going for the Class 2 test in May. When I get the Class 2 test, I am going to have to go to a lorry sat nav. So I will start with Road Lords again and see how that goes. If not, I'm going to buy one. Most of you people out there actually say there's loads of them out there which are like about 70 quid. I mean, one guy said, I've had mine for 3 years. It's never steered me wrong yet. So I think there's plenty out there. I don't think they have to cost you a fortune. I will cross that bridge when I come to it. But personally, and particularly the medium wheelbase, it's like a car. I think you'll be absolutely fine with Waze. Right, now back to the conclusion. Ian Merrick with 2 eyes. He says, because we did the earwigging thing about making friends on the road. He said, I've done the earwigging thing as a semi-pro guitarist. He said, I go to open mic nights. Often open mic nights are quiet with hardcore group of musicians keeping the night alive. You walk in with your guitar on your shoulder and straight away you earn brownie points as they know you're there to support and, you know, and be part of the thing, like, you know. He said, I've even walked into a bar for a beer with my guitar on, and the actors collared me outside during the break and asked me to jam. I had to scrounge a cable off the buskers at the end of the street. That sounds cool. I like that. And I'm sure you're very good. I'd like to see the video. Just a video. And my mate Dave does some videos about guitars. He's excellent. He's the guy who kind of taught me how to play. I play very badly. But Dave Winter, the cab driver, he's amazing. He really is. And he's the nicest man I've ever met as well. London Creative says, oh, I'm back on this again. Hello, Nick. I got the half man reference, half man, half biscuit reference from reading the lyrics to the song about how he had a friend with a Scalextrics and they ended up playing Subutio and the friend had a Jupiter Prague. It's not Jupiter, it's Jupiter Prague, not Jupiter Budapest and Wake It. That's the wrong song. It's a dead giveaway. The song is called Joy Division Oven Gloves because they're Joy Division oven gloves. It's not All I Want for Christmas is Duke the Prague Away Kit. That's on another album. I think it's on back in the DHSS. I'm not sure. I'm not even that big a fan of Half Man, Half Biscuit. I like a few of their songs, and they're a bit random. But yeah, the song that we're pointing towards is. It all started because there's a song one called What Is Chatteris, and I found myself in Chatteris. Ironically, I drove through Chatteris again this week. Still not that impressed. But yeah, the song is Joy Division Oven Gloves, and it's about Joy Division Oven Gloves. It's really not complicated. And finally, Lee Allen says, is the book called Take Care, Take Money? No, the book is called Shall I Go On, Mum? Available to buy from Amazon. I've messed about with the price a bit because it's gone American. I don't quite understand why. You can follow the link to the website, or you can follow the link at the end to the website. Anybody wants to read it. It's it might sound miserable. It's not. It's a jolly, rip-roaring roller coaster of a novel about a time in my 18 months of my life when everything went absolutely sideways. And the new one is still nearly done. Every week it's nearly done. I'm hoping by Easter I'll have the proof out, ready for proofreading. My proofreader's my wife. And it's about 5 normal geezers, blokes in their 50s, who suddenly get superpowers. Because it suddenly occurred to me, why is it whenever you watch these superhero things, they're all kind of young and good looking, or teenagers, presumably because teenagers read the comics and old sad gits like me don't. Or they're like millionaires and they've got like, they're genius inventors. Why can't it be like, I don't know, a market trader, a bricklayer, an office worker? What would happen if suddenly a bunch of 50-year-olds got superhero powers? It's coming. Watch this space. And in the meantime, Sunday Q&A, a bit long, about in one pop. So I might stick with mid-roll Everton if that's okay. I know I said I don't, but well, you know that by now because you'd have watched it. Probably tuned off. That's it. Hope you're all well. Like I say, there's a load to launch next week. Sorry, I've been a bit slow getting around to it, but it's time. And in the meantime, time is money. Take care. Take money.